the value of it. We live in a world today where everything's fast-paced. We can't stop and think about anything or do anything. So what happens if time decides to stop giving us its time? There is a saying that time, it waits for no man. Well, I say it has waited for no man, no woman, or any other living creature or organism that's been given that gift of living in this hurried world, walking, crawling, or even swimming in these fading lands. The world seems to be moving too fast, leaving its footprint of a past moment, sprinting to finish what it has started, leaving only a glimpse of what was once there. We spin ourselves at a frantic pace, trying to keep up as the world, it sits back and watches us become broken as we pay no attention to those things that matters most in the atmospheres of our clouded lives, and that is time. As children, we were molded for this nature of accountability of time because if spent unwisely or wrongly, what happened to it? It was taken from us. Do you guys remember the term time out? I remember getting spanked on my way into time out. But you see, as adults, we have fallen short of this awareness of knowledge. We think we have it all figured out when we're in control, when we only handed over that vehicle to the steering wheel of our emotions with a chance that maybe time would work things out, find its way, steer us in the right directions. No wonder why we're traveling endless roads, why we're going in circles with no stopping point, because time, it can't be trusted. It has no conscience. It was designed to give us seconds, moments, and hours to do what we were gifted to do. It doesn't have to give us any more. So time politely would like to ask you, what are you doing with your time? If you're trying to play this little catch-up game, be very cautious as it remains an elusive ally, as it doesn't hang around much for fear of wasted moments, because there are things to be done. Children to be born, people to be freed, uplifted, empowered, justice to be sought. But we have lost our unique senses to time. We don't spend time with time anymore. We simply can't realize that right now, this very instant, this is a moment to never, ever be seen again. Oh, this is indeed a crime, as we have let go of our time by imprisoning ourselves from rushed lives and repetitive anxieties, making us ignore those wonders that God, you have given as a token of appreciation for your people. So out of frustration, time would like to ask you firmly again, what are you doing with your time? How is your family, your spouse, your children, your friends, you, your heart, your spirits? Converse with time and build yourselves out of these life sentences of wasted periods, because time, it is very mindful of our criminal acts, watching us steal moments from our very own lives, dedicated to those things that makes no sense, which is why it would much rather lock us away with its own clock, ticking, 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 at every weeping moment that we complain about what's not going right in our lives. You see, time is here for its own purpose. And that purpose is not to tie its hands behind its back to force it to work in our favor. No, it is in our faces, on the faces of our clocks, to remind us that it is never behind. So catch up with time and stop wearing your watches for only aesthetic reasons. Instead, strap on a sports watch. So together, you and I, we can race to chase those seconds, to tie with the midnight hour, to surpass that new sun-risen day. But this catch-up game will always be under pursuit, as time, it will not wait for us to decide what we're going to do. It's needless to say. So what is valuable to you? Because the last time I checked, your lives, it is a one-time investment. So we should shake hands with time happily, right? Make a deal with it within 24 hours, because that is all that God can give. But we still complain about what time we don't have, so maybe there is more knowledge to be revealed. So as I'm speaking, please let my words spill into your ears, flooding your minds with something to think about. But try not to drown from the saturating flow of information, because time, it is smooth flowing like water headed in only one direction. So we shouldn't live our lives backwards in hesitation, anger, and fear and contempt, because remember, as I said before, time, it waits for no one. For if we're not careful, there is a price to pay with that misspending of our time. because it's gonna change with its seconds, to exchange with its minutes, to profit itself from its own upcoming hours without our giving consents. So we must slowly remember our yesterdays. That will prepare us for our todays, that will welcome us for our tomorrows. Because time and time again, I'm gonna tell you, it has no sorrows. It is a serious occurrence, carrying literally the currencies of our self-worth in its hands. What I've been told by many great men and women is what a woman or man does most with their time, and watch them carefully. It will define their true value. It will display their true character. It will give their true self-worth. So at a profitable investment with my time, oh, my hands, they have gripped the sides of thousands of pens, and together we have traveled through the distant valleys of a carving truth, searching and searching and searching for our time lost friends. But oh, my friends, my pens, they knew no boundaries as they traveled under, through territorial lines, finding their way, marking themselves to eventually pinpoint people from across the globe. The ink would always stop here and there with brilliant concepts to show. Wake up! Your life, it is not a snooze button. Stop pushing it time and time again, because we have a fugitive on the loose, ladies and gentlemen, and he holds a valuable possession in both of his hands. And that is your time, and now it is my time. So we should catch up, rock him in our arms to remind him and us that our days and lives, oh, they need a little less rush. Time, it does have two hands, but it will only hand you some of its time. Appreciate what it's willing to offer to you, because it will always change without a moment's notice. Thank you. This next piece is called Untold Courage. Now, the idea about this piece is that we all have courage. We don't always talk about it. We all have stories, but we don't all share it. So what is our relationship to books? Well, books have stories and they have knowledge, but they're only noticed when they're opened. So when we learn to be confident in who we are, to share our story, then people can know our courage. So if you look at these books, I want you to pay attention to the physical quality of the books. You see some are torn, some are stained, some are on the ground face down. That's kind of like our lives. We all have different things going on, right? Untold Courage. A book becomes valued when it is opened. It becomes an existence when the words, they are just written. The words then become influential when they are spoken. In each book, there lies a story that is ready to be told. And behind every book, there is that author who must write, whether he or she is young or old. Because a life, it is unique to each person that makes them a survivor of their time to be foretold. A book, it is ageless because our experiences, they capture past moments, present occurrences, and future hopes of what could be. The covers can be torn, they can be stained, even bent, but it will never change the content of what's inside it to see. You see, you are that very book that we are wishing to read. So, what is your life story? Because your life, it is a story, and your journey are your words printed by hand. Your book is who you are to the world, ready to be observed at a glance. But we must be careful because you can never judge a book as planned. With that in mind, we shouldn't care how people see us because they don't know our stories just yet, as we are all undercover with disregard to their demands. So as planned, when you're ready, open your books to let them read with open hands and pondering eyes to be surprised by a bestseller's glory. That's right, because what's inside of you remains priceless. So we should never be ashamed of who we are, the inside of our books, because that is who we are, and that is who we have come to be. If you're not content with the content within the crisp pages of your book, as an author, you know you can always change your stories. But look around you and you will notice that your valley of life is full of stories ready to be told. Our struggles may appear distant, but what brings us together are our hopes that grab a hold of our souls, and it is that hope of life prevailing within your candid tears that have dropped countless times to ripple your waves of frustrations into fear. But stay calm amidst this storm, as there is a valley near to you, as your rivers will only take you one direction. Setting you sail to a better place, where the past, oh, it's just mist now, from the waterfalls of left behind moments of escape. But if you want to dwell on what was lost in that place, you are closing your books with the pages never to be read. My question to you all is, why would you hide anything of value if it can show the true beauty of surviving instead? I bet if we open that book of yours, oh, we'll find some valuable tools like courage, strength, hope, patience, because all of these are required from someone left alone. And like that book, you have survived being torn and being thrown, but the world inside you will never change. And when you find yourself floating down the rivers to your valley of self-blame, remember, like the book, you were never meant to drown. Your words of, I'm better than this, I'm special. He may not think it, she may not think it, I know I'm beautiful. I know, God, I know I have a purpose. I can't figure it out, but I know I do. You see, these thoughts have left bubbles of air surrounding your book, waiting for that very moment to burst you out of your despair, for you to scream that, no, you are not lost. No, you are found. So year after year, chapter after chapter, the pages of your book to be written, not meant to disappear, nor will they be hidden. So live to learn, and learn to live, because what's in that book of yours is a spirit of courage, untold, that you must give. Your story must be told, and it must never go unnoticed, because do you know why? You're noticed even when your book is closed. So keep creating your story, and let your words fall naturally onto your paper, like those beautiful petals from the cherry blossoms of the spring's pink snow. As peculiar as it may seem, this world, it does demand more authors to know. So be courageous so that your children can read themselves to sleep of better dreams, so that someday they can awaken, open their books to you, and begin to speak. You are more courageous than you could ever imagine. If you don't believe, let someone else read it to you as you open up and reveal your page. Your book is already being written, but the question is, what more are you willing to say? Keep the books open and let your experiences be your journeys to walk freely upon your hopeful page, because a book of courage is what you have all been writing along. God bless you all.
Thank you, Adrian. Next we have the wonderful Mount Zion Praise Dancers here with us tonight. And it's the youth dancers at the church. And if I could have you folks come up here. They are going to need all this space, so make sure to pay attention to everybody. It's a big group, and they got a big message to share with us.